Good evening and welcome back to WNRD, Radio Nerd America. This is our third episode. Once again, I'm Michael Diaz and this is
Alan Lugo.
And tonight our topic is going to be It's Geek Christmas, where we're going to talk about some hot Christmas items, some hot geeky Christmas items from the past. Maybe one coming for this year as well. But before we get into that, let's go right into some current events.
Yeah, so a few current events we're going to talk about. A big event that I want to talk about that Michael is not really a part of yet is HBO's Westworld. So, season finale just happened last weekend. I believe I read online it was the most watched series in HBO history. Michael has not gotten into it yet. So first of all, Michael, let me see. What did you know about it at this stage? And if you did know a little bit about it, why aren't you watching it?
I only know a few things. I know that it's based off of a movie from the 70s. So,
it was originally a book written by Michael Crichton.
See, I did not know that. Makes sense. But yeah, so it was a movie from the 70s. It has to involve, I know it involves androids in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, very much so.
Just that's based on, because I saw part of the movie back in the day. And from what I've seen online, apparently there are multiple timelines within the show. That's literally all I know about Westworld.
So I'll give you a little bit of update too. So yeah, I'm a big fan of the IO9 website and blog. I heard a lot of hype about this show on that well before it came out. So I was interested in it. And when I started seeing the HBO trailers on it, it didn't really hook me because I think the Western aspect of it, the Old West aspect of it, I was like, oh, that's never really been my thing. So about 5 weeks into the show, I still hadn't watched it yet. And I was like, well, when I get a slow weekend or over the holiday break, I might watch it. Eventually, after some friends really that I respect their nerd and geek opinions told me to get on it, I watched the first episode with my wife, and we were like hooked. We're like, yep, we're going to start.
First episode, you're hooked.
First episode, we were hooked. So we didn't binge watch it. We caught up 1 or 2 episodes at a time because we were pretty busy. But we caught up just in time that we watched the finale episode as it premiered. But I love it. If I have to put, our 1 to 10 scale, 10 being the best, Star Wars, if I had to throw it on there right now, I'd say I got to start at least 8.5.
That's high praise for such a new show.
I know, and I feel confident about it, though.
I might have to check it out. The only thing that maybe is stopping me, does Damon Lindelof have anything to do with this show? From Lost and from Alien, from Prometheus.
I don't think so, but I can't say that I know for a fact. But I haven't heard his name being thrown around. So
here's the thing, because I know it's J.J. Abrams is involved in some way.
Yeah, he is involved somehow.
That doesn't put me off. I will double check, but I think the reason I was originally put off, I thought I heard Damon Lindelof was involved, and right away that killed it for me.
Yeah, I know. You very much have a tendency to look for things to turn off really early. I've noticed that about you.
Well, it's more experience. In that I wasted 6 years on Lost.
Well, let me tell you, this is no Lost, my friend. Well, this is no
fine.
Lost.
And that's fine. I don't want to get involved if there's not going to be a payoff. Which obviously we can't. I don't know that now.
No, we're not going to get into any spoilers or anything. But I will say, you definitely should take the time to check it out and probably strike while the iron's hot before too many things become common knowledge and before too many things get spoiled inadvertently to you. So definitely a big recommendation on there. So let's move forward to the next one. What was it last night? Transformers.
Transformers was a couple nights ago, but yes, It came out this week. The Transformers The Last Night trailer. I'm not going to spoil anything when I say it's a Michael Bay movie. So the trailer is basically explosion after explosion after explosion. Some hint to the storyline.
Now, I love Transformers. I really do. The first movie that came out, I remember I was an intern at this company in Philadelphia. And it was a year before the movie was going to come out. And I remember they put up, their website came up, and it was just a countdown to the movie. And I was so excited. I haven't seen this trailer yet. I mean, the luster of Transformers is kind of worn off. I feel like Michael Bay hasn't done what he should have done with it. I like the first one. So I haven't seen this trailer, but I know I'm going to go see the movie when it comes out.
Did you like the last one with Marky Mark?
I liked it by default because it's Transformers, and I'm so loyal to the Transformers franchise, but it was okay.
Well, this is our introduction, so I'm not going to go into too much detail, but I'll just say I fell asleep during the last one, and when I woke up, I had no idea what was going on, so I'm like, I must have been out for half an hour. I missed maybe 15, 30 seconds.
You just had it off.
And I was like, that's it?
They're starting to trail off a little bit. So okay, we touched on that. And then speaking of teasers or trailers, the next one, which you want to talk about is?
Spider-Man Homecoming. They had a teaser last night as we're recording this on a Thursday. Teaser was just the other night on Wednesday. The full trailer comes out tonight. In fact, I've heard there's 2 trailers coming out tonight. So as of this recording, we have not seen them yet. But the quick 15, 30 seconds I saw last night, I'm very interested. Have you seen it?
I haven't seen it. I mean, same thing with Spider-Man. I love Spider-Man, but I've liked all the Spider-Man movies thus far. Some of them were better than others. Don't get me wrong. But it's kind of at the point where I'm not excited about it anymore. It's going to take a new character to get me excited, but don't make no mistake, I'm probably going to go see it on opening day.
I was just geeked because right away there's Jon Favreau.
Yep.
He's playing, I blank on who he is.
So he's acting in the movie?
Yes.
Okay. Good.
Jon Favreau, he's, I can't remember the guy's name. I apologize for not remembering.
Do we know, so has it been given away online about the villain or anything yet?
They've really kind of kept it.
I haven't heard anything about it.
The rumor is that it's the Vulture.
Oh, that's right. I have heard that.
That Michael Keaton is the Vulture. Still not completely confirmed, though. But anyway, so you see Jon Favreau as Happy. That's who he plays. Tony Stark's bodyguard.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, hey, did you not look in the case? And it's from Spider-Man's point of view. He opens the case, and there's a new suit in there for him. And then the quick teaser is just Spider-Man jumping through the air. And what they added to the suit was the classic web wings in between his arms and his torso. I did see an image online or something that alluded to he was using Stark tech in the new one, yeah. Which, we'll get into that later, of course. But I don't know yet if having Tony have so much influence over Spider-Man is going to help or diminish the franchise?
Yeah, I know. I feel like they've already covered off a lot of Spider-Man fun stuff in the initial movies, Tobey Maguire, then the reboot with Andrew Garfield. And so I'm just a little bit worried they're going to try too hard in this one. But the fact that they're tying it in with the rest of the Marvel Universe, I think it could be a big boost for it.
Oh, I agree. I mean, you have to tie into a winner. And right now, the big kid on the block, the person to beat, is the Marvel Universe.
Mm-hmm.
Excited for that. I can't wait to see the actual trailers when they come out tonight. Obviously, by the time you listen to this, they'll have been out, so comment on Twitter or on our SoundCloud page. Tell us what you think. We'll go ahead and we'll probably do the same.
Yeah, cool stuff going on right now. Okay, Nerds of America. We got a new segment we're going to start, and we're going to use it from time to time in some of our episodes, but it's called Should I Check It Out? And we're going to talk about movies that maybe we think it's underrated, or we think that for some reason a lot of people don't know about it, or maybe it gets a bad rap, or things we haven't seen yet. So we're going to ask the question, should I check it out? And we're each going to have a pick, and we're going to discuss it. So Michael's going to lead us off on this segment. Michael, what should I check out?
I'm going to tell you about one of my favorite B-grade action films, sci-fi action films of all time, hands down, Equilibrium. Have you seen it?
I have not seen it.
Why not?
Well, I mean, when I saw it, I remember when I worked at Best Buy. I did this for a few years now. I remember that being a DVD on the shelf, and I remember thinking, this looks like a knockoff Matrix. And that was pretty much the end of it. And it had Taye Diggs, who's like a B-list actor. So
you shut your mouth. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. You were talking.
No, that was basically it. That's why I never checked it out. It was that simple. I really sold it short really early.
First of all, how dare you besmirch the good name of Taye Diggs?
I mean, it was kind of in the same camp. There wasn't a movie called Dark World or something, and those two where it came out at the same time. And
are you talking about Dark City?
Maybe Dark City, yeah.
Have you seen Dark City?
Nope.
Another segment, another time. We'll go back there. But let's start with Equilibrium. We touched on this one ever so briefly in the first episode because the same writer that wrote this, directed this, also did Ultraviolet, which we decided was an awful.
Was terrible.
Terrible.
So that's already one reason why I shouldn't watch it. So you're one in the hole right now.
No.
1.5 if you count Taye Diggs.
So it's written and directed by Kurt Wimmer. And let me just put it here. I'm going to take it above the hole. This one's worth 2 right here. This movie right here, Equilibrium, convinced me well before he was ever announced that Christian Bale was going to be the most badass Batman there ever was.
That's right. I did know that somebody kind of burst onto the scene in this movie, or at least he wasn't well known. So it's Christian Bale. So Christian Bale's in it.
Yes.
Who I like Christian Bale. So that right, you're probably broke even now.
What? All right. So here's the gist. Equilibrium takes place in a world where they have decided that.
Wait. Do we? Is it spoiler alert, or how are we going to do this segment?
I'm going to tell you, I'll try not to ruin the movie.
Okay.
But seeing as it came out years and years ago, you had your chance to watch it, so if you get spoiled, that's your own fault.
Right. But you're not gonna overtly spoil the movie.
No. Let me just say, Equilibrium, the gist is this. It's a world where they've decided that emotions have ruined our planet. Because people have emotions and because they're passionate, they go to war and they kill each other. And there's famine and there's all this. And basically the world was almost destroyed. So the only way to save the world is that everyone has to take a drug at specific intervals throughout the day called Librium. Mm-hmm. They inject themselves. There's a big horn that goes off. Everyone stops what they're doing and takes this drug. Go ahead.
Okay, so the drug is called Librium and the movie is called Equilibrium. So again, a negative half point.
No.
I'm sorry, the point of this segment is not for me to convince that it's not any good. It's just somehow that's how it's playing out with this movie.
So, Christian Bale plays what they call a grammaton cleric. His job is to enforce this rule. So, the resistance that live outside of the city want to keep art, be it recorded, be it paintings, anything that shows creativity, that evokes an emotional response, is therefore contraband. Mm-hmm. As fate would have it, I'm not ruining the movie, because this is on the box itself, something happens where he misses his dose of Librium. Mm-hmm. And he starts to feel. And the movie takes off from there.
Mad feels, yo.
Mad feels. Now, that's not why you should watch the movie right there, because he has feelings. Kurt Wimmer came up with what he calls, now the name sucks, but it's called gun kata. Once again, this gun kata. It's a form of martial arts using pistols. In this case, automatic machine pistols. The gist.
It sounds pretty badass.
Yeah, the gist of it is, after watching and documenting countless thousands of gun battles, this martial art has figured out the ideal place for positioning oneself and moving through an area in which to minimize the amount you're going to get hit, but maximize the person practicing this martial arts of killing someone else. So
it is still kind of sounding like knockoff Matrix in a way.
A little bit in that, yes. Whereas the Matrix, though, was all martial arts with guns, as in... Wait, hold on. It's not the same. It's not the same.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Matrix is martial arts or guns. This is, I'm going to break through a door, do a flip, twist, and bend all around and shoot all 24 people in this room and kill them dead. It's fantastic. There's only like 3 or 4, I'm going to go 3 major action scenes in this movie.
Yeah.
At the beginning, middle, and end. But they are phenomenal. They are some of the best action scenes I've ever seen.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna watch it, even though as skeptical as I've been. I'm gonna watch it because I'm gonna take your word for it, and I'm gonna watch it with an open mind because I've always I've always wondered about that movie when I see it.
I saw it. I don't know if it was opening night when it came out, how many years ago, because I had seen a trailer for it and said that looks fantastic. I left the theater. I convinced some friends of mine to go see it with me. They left like, that was fucking awesome. I convinced another friend. She went to go see it. She loves it. It's one of her favorite movies. A week and a half later, it was no longer in the theater because no one else saw it.
No one else went and seen it yet. Okay, so should I check it out? An astounding yes coming from you.
Yes, it is fantastic. In fact, I almost want to be there when you watch it just to see the look on your face. I may have overhyped it. But...
Well, I kind of egged you on to overhype it with my negativity, but... no, it's interesting, and I like the little synopsis you gave, and then I'll check it out.
And like I said, the physicality of Christian Bale in this movie, when they announced he was going to be Batman, after you've seen this film, you can go, yeah, I see why they...
No, if you would have said everything you said without Christian Bale, I still may not go check it out. But when you mentioned the Christian Bale, I definitely want to check it out for that reason, if not only that reason.
It's fantastic. It's 1984, The Matrix...
Yeah, I mean, some of that stuff feeling like it's a little recycled, but sometimes sometimes those things can go a long ways, right? You can see it told many different ways.
It's fantastic. I see it. Yes, definitely see it.
All right, there you have it.
What makes you think you can bullshit your way into my head? Like every other pencil-neck piece of shit.
All right, so our main topic for the show, it's the Geek Christmas. The first thing we're going to talk about is, I'm really excited right now about the Mini NES or the Retro NES, Nintendo Entertainment System, which seems to be the hot geek or nerd item of the year. We mentioned a couple episodes ago, sold out nationwide, can't get your hands on it. I think Nintendo Corp is doing that purposely to raise the interest in the item. You were surprised by that.
I was. I mean, when I first heard it came out, I thought it sounded sweet. $60. It's almost, I mean, $60 isn't nothing, but it's not $300 or $400.
No, and let's be honest, I remember Super Mario Brothers 3, back when it came out, was like $54.99.
Right.
And this one has like 30 games, like all the hot games. No, I don't think there's many duds on there, so
exactly.
I think it's a good value.
Oh, it's definitely a value. And I thought, yeah, maybe I should pick that up. You know, not really too concerned about it, not thinking I'd have a hard time finding it.
I wasn't either initially.
But I think, as you will attest, it's nowhere.
So here was my theory, and this isn't rocket science here, that, yeah, they wanted to make it really hard to get so that the geeks would all line up, and then people would start talking about it, and then sort of the casual Nintendo video game fan would start hearing about it, and then they would ask about it, and then it becomes a pop culture thing, and then now everybody wants it. So now they have this pent-up demand that wouldn't have been there had they just had a million of them available, right? I
could not agree more. This is the same exact playbook from, 6, 7, 8 years ago when the Wii came out?
Right.
Same exact thing.
So that's where we want to talk about a little bit. So we're not going to get into the nuts and bolts of the Retro NES too much on this topic, but we wanted to talk about the past hot items for Christmas that were, probably like the toys, the nerdy and geeky stuff. So like you said, the Wii was a huge one, right? It was Nintendo's return to the video game world, and everybody had to wait in line. Nobody could get one, right?
Oh, yeah. I remember there was a website set up where you could basically put in, and it would tell you when different stores would have them in stock and whether you can buy them or not. It was crazy. I got lucky back in the day when I got it. A friend of mine happened to be at Toys R Us or something.
Yeah.
Just as they were stocking the shelves. He was like, "Hey, do you want one?" I'm like, "Yeah."
Yeah, I've never purchased a Wii to this day. My sister and my niece had bought one early, and then a lot of other friends had them, so I just never needed to get one. But the first sort of hot Christmas item I remember, and it's not so much that I specifically remember it, but I know people talked about it, was the Cabbage Patch doll.
Oh, God.
I remember when those came out, right, it was like a big Christmas thing and you couldn't get one.
Oh, yeah, I remember watching videos of people back in the 80s punching each other in the face so they could get their kid this ugly little squished face doll.
So I was really young when I had a Cabbage Patch doll, and the thing that really bugs me is, and I liked that doll as a child, small child. I don't remember his name, though. I know what he looks like. He was bald. I don't remember his name, but did you have one?
I just think it's important to note that you played with dolls as a child.
It was given to me, and I played with it.
I'm not going to shame you. I have no problem with that. I did not have one, though.
My sister had one as well. My sister had one that had braces, and the thing had a headgear retainer thing.
Shut up.
I think that was her second doll, actually, because I remember she had one before.
Now, I was a little bit too old for the dolls. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I am, 7, 8 years older than you?
Yeah, but you maybe did your younger brother ever have one?
My youngest brother, who's 12 years younger than I am, he missed that as well, but he fell into the My Little Buddy.
Oh, My Buddy.
Yeah,
My Buddy era. And Kid Sister.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he had one of those.
Now, another one I remember, too, which is fast-forwarding from Cabbage Patch, was the Tickle Me Elmo.
Holy cow,
right?
People freaked out.
Now, that was for really, really, I suppose those kids are probably still nerds and geeks now, but I was older then, but that was a crazy one. That was a viral sensation before that word existed.
And that was internet age, so you had people buying these like crazy and then putting them on eBay for insane prices, which that's what we're kind of seeing right now with the NES Classic.
Hey, yeah, I didn't look online. How much are they going for?
Through Amazon partners on the Amazon website itself, I'm seeing them for going $200, $220 and up.
Nice. Wow. Now, similar to the Tickle Me Elmo, Furby. You remember Furby? That's the one that I do remember people reset price gouging on the internet crazy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was insane. In fact, my girls were around for the second phase of Furbies, which was like 3-4 years ago.
Uh-huh.
They're smarter now.
Yeah.
They weren't as hard to find. But yeah, that first round of Furbies, again, videos of people in stores punching each other in the face.
So those are the main ones I can think of. Do you have any more you can think of? I was going to say this is a big one where we want our 17 listeners to comment in and let us know what were the big hot toy or geek nerd items that we're forgetting that had came out in years past. But those were the big ones that I remember being sort of a pop culture phenomenon that I wanted to bring up and talk about.
Yeah, I think you covered it.
So on that topic, we want to parlay that into some of our favorite nerd and geek Christmas gifts. We have a couple, some from when I was young and some more recent. So I'm going to jump right into my first one, Michael. I'm going to start back in time. 1985. This photo does exist on social media, and I have it as well. I received, of many toys, but I remember this one specifically at Christmas, a He-Man weapons set. So I got the sword, and I got the shield, and then I believe there was another set of sword and shield so you can, like, whack your buddy with them and play.
Like for you, not for the figures, for...
No, full size.
Child size.
Child size actual weapons. So
really?
I loved that, and I love it even more because I had the photo to prove it.
He-Man was a little bit after my time. I mean, I guess it was kind of my time, but I was always more into like G.I. Joe and Star Wars. So I appreciate He-Man, but I can't say that I ever went to the level where I had the sword and the shield and was stabbing people.
Yeah, no, I had some great toy gifts, but not all of them came on Christmas, but that one definitely did. What about you?
So for me, the ones I remember most vividly are fairly recent.
Yeah.
Except the last one that I'll mention, but we'll build up to that. For me, my number 3 one that I remember most is the Alien Anthology on Blu-ray.
That's a good one. I remember when that came out. I really wanted it, and I still haven't gotten it yet.
I love it. Absolutely love it. I'm a huge Alien geek. For me, Alien and then Aliens are two of the best movies ever created.
Now, we need to get that in our list, by the way. That's another one that's not in. We need to get that placed. Okay.
Yeah. Those movies are fantastic. It was the third time I had gotten them. Because
Oh, yeah, so because you had gotten it originally, and then when DVD probably, and...
Yes, there was one DVD set, and then they released another more expanded DVD set.
Yep.
So I got that, and then the Blu-ray set.
Yep, I was the same way with Star Wars.
I think I'm done now. I think I have all the Alien I need. However, now next summer, Alien Covenant is coming out, so...
Yeah. Which I love Prometheus, by the way. We're going to save that for another topic because I'm sure you have something to say about that. I'm just going to slip it in there and move on. So my next one was, I have a set, and they're hanging in my office right now, Star Wars commemorative posters from the original trilogy. These were like special edition artwork. I'll have to show them to you. I don't know if you've seen them yet. I got them. I wrote it down here. I think it was like 94. So it was like around the same time that they released the remastered versions. Not the ones where Lucas had edited footage back in, but just when they digitally remastered them the first time. They had the trilogy.
Like to home video?
Yeah, to home video.
Okay.
So they're really cool posters. I'll have to show them to you. And I remember I was kind of too young when I got them. So I was wanting toys still. And I got these posters, and I kind of was like, oh, okay, Star Wars posters. And they sat in my closet in my mom's house forever. So they were still pristine, and I got them out and brought them here like a year ago. And then I went online and bought frames for them, and now they hang in my office. And I'm like, wow, I'm really glad I didn't like destroy these back then. So that was a great one that I really like, and we'll have to maybe get some photos and put them online or try to find them or something.
It's funny you mentioned Star Wars, because that's my number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2 for me was the Star Wars Blu-ray set that had the original and prequel trilogies.
Now that's a great box set, right?
Oh, it's fantastic, but I would never have bought it ever in a million years.
Wait. Why? What? I mean, I don't understand that.
I don't want to go too deep into it, but the basic gist is when the DVD set of Star Wars came out, the original trilogy,
yep,
Lucas said,
oh, here we go. Here we go.
This is the final version. The versions you saw in the theater when you were a little kid, they don't exist. To me, these are the definitive versions of Star Wars. So I said, okay, I'm buying it. And then what happens a few years later? Lucasfilm needs more money. So they said, okay, we're going to release Star Wars again, but also it's going to have a second disc, and we're going to call these the archival versions, or these are the versions you actually saw in the film or in the theater before I touched them all up. So I said no.
So according to you, since this new format Blu-ray came out, you just think that they should have never released Star Wars on Blu-ray?
No.
Or they should only have released them one at a time. You wouldn't allow a box set.
I'm okay with the Blu-ray, but the Blu-rays are the special edition versions.
Mm-hmm.
So I know already, at some point in time, Lucasfilm is going to go, hey, those archival versions that we did on DVD, we're doing Blu-rays of those now too.
Yeah. Well, at this point, it's Disney saying that, not so much Lucas anymore.
That's fine.
So who knows?
That's
Somebody
fine.
else making the cash grab.
But yeah, I had refused to ever buy them. So when Shaylee got them for me for Christmas, I was overjoyed. I love them. I've watched them. They look fantastic. But
yeah, I love that Blu-ray set. I did buy it for myself, and we're gonna have to touch on that original archival version at a later time some more. So sticking with Star Wars, so this is a recent one for me, just last Christmas, and this is a really geeky one because it's a gift that I'm getting as an adult, right? So I received some Darth Vader socks, and so the print on the socks looks like his sort of chest piece.
Oh yeah,
with the green and the red and the dots and the dials, and they're black socks. But the really interesting thing is the socks have a cape on them.
Shut up.
So the cape would hang down like on your ankle over your shoes. And I haven't worn them yet because you gotta wait for the right time and place for those socks.
When is the appropriate time to wear capes? Cape socks.
I'm thinking it might be for a new holiday week that I invented myself called Star Wars Week. And that's when one of the new movies come out. You just wear Star Wars apparel and clothing items every day that week.
So next week.
So, right, I'm thinking, well, now, but I'm going to be in Asia. So
Can you not wear socks in Asia?
Yeah, but it's more fun with people in the office, and letting them know that flying my nerd flag at the office. So, but that would be a time or some sort of goofy Halloween party or something. But that's definitely a geeky gift that I have.
Okay, so for me, for my final one, now I'm going to harken back to the late 80s, the original Nintendo Entertainment System.
Great one. I wanted to do something like that, but all of my Nintendos and stuff like that were not Christmas gifts. They were for birthdays or something else.
See, the Nintendo Entertainment System when I got, I had friends that had them already. We would go over to their house to play. Now, I certainly didn't want for a lot growing up as a kid. We were very comfortable, but for whatever reason, my parents couldn't afford it or whatever the deal was. So this was a gift for my grandparents.
Nice.
It was a total surprise. It was a gift to both me and my brother. Here you go, the Nintendo, and it still burned into my memory. Opening it that morning, going.
Was it the original one that came with Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt on the same cartridge?
Yes.
And so it had the gray gun, not the orange gun.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So that was early in.
Oh yeah, loved it. And like I said, it's one of the best Christmas gifts best geek Christmas gifts that comes to mind.
Totally. If I would have gotten that, or maybe Super Nintendo or Sega Genesis, it would have definitely been on my list. But those are always more birthday gifts for me and my sister. So, yeah, so there you have it, the Geek Christmas. We wanted to share some of those warm and toasty memories, and hopefully for all of you listeners and us, there's some more geek presents in our future from Santa's bag. And we're going to keep moving on with this episode. Okay, so if you've listened to a couple episodes of WNRD so far, you know our first episode we did a top 10 list of like nerd sci-fi fantasy franchises. And we said we were going to, when we talk about some stuff, we're going to plug it into where it falls into that list. So we're going to take that list and we're going to talk about something that I think is near and dear to a lot of nerds' hearts, fast food burgers. So we're gonna apply our fast food burger list to our top 10 list. So it doesn't mean it's the best ones. We're going to talk about what are the best ones and the worst ones.
Yeah, and this is very off the cuff. We wanted to kind of just quick, visceral reaction. What do you think of your top 10 burgers? This could change. You could ask me again tomorrow. It might be completely different.
And this isn't no obscure chains allowed here. These are national or at least large regional chains. Nothing that only has 6 restaurants in Iowa.
Exactly.
All right, so let's start at the bottom.
All right.
So when I started at the bottom, I say, well, this might not be like the worst burger in the world, but among the chains, I'm going Hardee's. And Hardee's used to be more popular when I was young. And I just remember their burgers just being really sort of average, really sort of like cafeteria, gas station burger quality.
I honestly can't say if I've ever had a Hardee's burger. I think I have.
Yeah, they're not terrible, but they're at the bottom of my list. I can't think of one that I remember that's notable that was worse.
Yeah, nothing's coming to mind.
All right, number 1 for you then. Number 1 being the lowest.
McDonald's. Now, don't get me wrong. Every once in a while I get that Big Mac craving.
So let's specify here. You're talking about the regular McDonald's cheeseburger or...
I'm going to say flat out McDonald's.
In general.
In general.
Any one I throw at you, it's number 1. It's the lowest.
It's the lowest. Just because,
tough
like
crowd.
I said,
and yet, how do they make so much money?
Because they're the biggest. And their fries are fantastic. If we did one on fries, that might be towards the top.
We might have to get into fries later on. Okay, so good segue. I had McDonald's at number 2. So I didn't have too much of a problem with it, but I thought about specifically like the cheeseburger or the double cheeseburger or even the quarter pounder. If we said Big Mac only, I'd bump it up. But just talking about their sort of beef patties on their own with a bun and toppings, I'll eat them from time to time, but not very often.
You know what? I have to admit, I'm not even a huge fan of the quarter pounder. I know it's bigger.
No, it's bigger, right? But it's not any better, really.
No, but every once in a while, gotta have a Big Mac.
No, I get a Big Mac too. I mean, if not for the Big Mac, I wouldn't have much of a relationship with McDonald's these days. Okay.
Whoa, well, breakfast sandwiches.
Well, we're talking burgers, okay?
All right.
If you're already trying to spin off into fries, not breakfast.
I'm sorry. I just can't say
Okay, what's your number 2?
Burger King.
Okay.
I like the Whopper now and then, but
yeah.
There are many more. I can't speak. There are many better above.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. I don't have them that low, but my number 3 is Whataburger. Now,
shut your mouth.
Now, here's the thing. This is truly an unfair ranking of them. I'll admit it. It's of such a small sample size. I took a road trip down to Texas, down and back. I stopped at a Whataburger. It could have been just that one burger. It could have been that one restaurant. I just wasn't that impressed with it. I've had many better. Now, again, I'm not going to say it was bad. I'm not going to say I'm never going to go there again. It just didn't do much for me.
I'll get into this a little bit because I rank them quite a bit higher.
So they're not local. So how many Whataburgers have you had?
Well, that's where my argument kind of loses ground a little bit.
Oh, God. Here we go.
I've had one.
Well, there you go. So they must be a 5 then. If I have them low and you have them high, and we've only both had them once, they're inconsistent.
Maybe so.
Okay, so wait, did you do number 3 yet?
I did not.
Okay, what's your number 3 then?
Smash Burger.
You know, that was a good one. They were new to our area here in West Michigan not too long ago, and I wouldn't argue with that. They didn't do a lot for me. I didn't hate them, but...
I've gone there with coupons. Hey, come on. I like coupons, and if you can... it's not a terrible burger, but if you're going to give it to me for a couple bucks off, it makes it better.
There's been one here, or been a few in Grand Rapids here for, 4 or 5 years now?
Oh, yeah.
And I've had it twice.
2 or 3 times, tops.
Okay, there you go. My number 4, Burger King. And, I'm a little nostalgic here. Burger King is really inconsistent, but when they nail their double cheeseburger, when you get one fresh and the buns are fresh and everything's fresh, it's one of the better double cheeseburgers I've had, but it's just terribly inconsistent.
It has to be a perfect storm of burger.
It does. But when you get it, it packs a wallop.
I'll give you that. It's quite the Whopper. Dad jokes.
Oh, man. Okay, so you're number 4.
Culver's. Their butter burger.
You mentioned that one, and I didn't have them on my list. I could slot them maybe in that same spot, but yeah, they're pretty good. But I've only had Culver's burger a couple times. It's one of the very few burgers that after I eat it, I feel like I swallowed a brick. Yeah,
and maybe it has to do with the butter. I mean, a burger's greasy enough already.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I love butter. I love putting butter on things.
Yeah, I mean, look, we're not talking about which one's the most healthiest, because all of these are bad. So I'm not trying to let that drag it down. It's a good tasting burger.
It's a decent burger, but it's not my top 5.
Okay, so now my number 5, I'm going with Rally's, or in some regions, Checkers. I like their burgers. I don't know, they have the shredded lettuce, the Big Buford. The Big Buford, I should be specific. That's all I get there is the Big Buford. I like it.
I'm just going to say this is surely a sign of the apocalypse, as I also picked Rally's. Exact same placement.
Nice. I mean, yeah, because they're pretty good.
I can't argue with any of your points. They're a solid burger. There's no question about it. I wouldn't necessarily make a special trip to go there, but if I'm craving a burger and they're in town, I'm not going to be upset about it.
Yeah, I mean, I've eaten a lot of fast food in my day. I cut back now, but it's still a part of my diet, and it depends on the rotation, right? If I've been in an area or one of these other restaurants were convenient enough times in a row, that's when Rally's pops in. I'm like, you know what? I haven't had Rally's in a while.
Yep, I agree 100%.
Okay, my number 6. Well, I can't quite say rest in peace yet, but there is only one restaurant existing now, hot and now.
I really can't speak to it.
Big in the early 90s.
Very big, but my only exposure to them was when they were all over, where you live in the Grand Rapids area. And they were all over the place. And for me, they were synonymous with reheated microwaved burgers that were super, super cheap.
Super cheap, like 29, 39 cents for a cheeseburger. within almost visual distance of where we live right now, there's one down the street that the sign is still up. And whenever I have people that come visit me that haven't visited where I live now, they're always like, "Oh, is that hot now?" And I have to break it to them, "No, man, that thing's been shut down for years." There was one in Bay City where my family lives. It burned down like 2 months ago.
So there's one left in the entire
There's one left in Sturgis. I believe it's in Sturgis, Michigan, Battle Creek, near Battle Creek area. It's one left. I may need to go there. That really is almost all about nostalgia to me.
I don't share it, and I don't know that the one that remains, if it's any different or better than the ones from the 90s, but yeah.
Well, long story short, Taco Bell screwed them over. They bought them. They tried to expand their menu, blah, blah, blah. You can read about it online. I'm sure everybody wants to. They screwed it up. All right, you're number 6.
Wendy's. As far as the major chains goes, I'm talking McDonald's, Burger King, the ones that are everywhere.
The big ones.
I would say that Wendy's is the best pure fast food burger.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. My number 7, which would be next on my list, is Wendy's. 7 out of 10, right? So, yeah, I like Wendy's. I mean, now I got to give them some guff. The size of their actual patties has shrunk by like 40% in the last decade.
Yeah, I mean, the Big Mac, though, has shrunk too.
Well, yeah, but who cares about McDonald's, right? They're bottom of our list. We have some respect for Wendy's, clearly. So I hold them to a higher standard. They tweaked their recipe not too long ago. They called it Dave's Premium or something now. I don't know what
Dave's
it is.
Way?
Yeah, something, but it's good. It's really good. You're number 7.
My number 7 is Bagger Dave's. Fast food-ish. I mean, it's more of a sit-down place, but burgers, that's what they do. I've been there a few times now, and I think I always get the train wreck. Mm-hmm. It's just a big mess of a burger, but it's a solid burger.
Yeah, I mean, so this segue is working well. So, by the way, Mike and I are breaking our list to each other as we go. We haven't seen each other's list. So his 7 was Bagger Dave's, right?
Yep.
Now, my next one on my list is number 8. 8 of 10 is Bagger Dave's.
Right, so not too far off.
Their burgers are really good. They were almost what you would call a premium fast food burger.
Yes.
Because it's probably that burger is twice the price of a McDonald's burger or a Burger King burger. But, yeah, really good. Quality burger.
Now, where Alan thinks that Bagger Dave's is ranks that high, I'm going to throw in Whataburger. This is where Whataburger comes in for me at number, was it 7?
This got to be your 8. Your number 8. So this is we haven't gotten to the top, but this has got to be the biggest delta, right? I had it at 3. You have it at 8.
A full swing across.
But to be fair,
5-point difference.
Both of us have to admit we've only actually had it once.
I had it once.
We don't really know where it is.
I had it just in April. I happened to be in Florida for spring break. Had some time to kill, and I was like, you know what? I've never had a Whataburger. For me, and this might be blasphemy for some people, I think I got the triple. Their patties are thinner and wider than most burger places. The burger's really round and wide.
Yeah.
Almost like a 45 record, which I'm aging myself there.
Well, yeah, because now you really liked it though. So maybe I didn't get the triple. I think I probably got a double. So maybe my meat to bun to condiment ratio wasn't right. Maybe I needed the triple.
I don't know that a slice of meat's going to change it for you, but I just remember biting into it and thinking, this is fantastic. This is the same exact feeling that my number 9 gives me.
Okay, but to be fair, we both need to go have Whataburger at least 2 more times to really figure out where they really lie.
You can't base it solely on one. You know, I've had it just one time, thought it was fantastic. I could go and have
if we have any listeners that live near a Whataburger or in those regions that have had it multiple times, chime in, let us know who is more correct on this one. Okay, so
it's probably me.
Do you want to go to your number 9 then? 9 of 10, the second best.
Five Guys Burgers and Fries. Bar none. Well, bar one. Bar one.
Bar one. And hey, number 9 on my list as well, Five Guys.
This is something I've told Shaylee, my girlfriend, several times. Every time I go to Five Guys, I think that's the time I'm going to be disappointed. I'm going to take that burger, open up out of the foil, take a bite, and go, oh, it's not magical.
The honeymoon will be over, right?
Exactly.
But so I make sure I space out my Five Guys visits just to make sure that doesn't happen. So I don't go there very often, considering they're that high on my list.
Well, I space them out too because, first, no one should eat that much Five Guys. And if you get the fries, be ready to eat, a metric ton of fries.
Right, that's a whole other discussion on the fries. But yes, the burgers are so good.
But every time I've done it, every time I take that first bite, I'm like, it's still there.
I know, and it's really like, I could really flip-flop Five Guys and the one that's my number 1.
No.
And not...
Wait,
not have too much of it, my number 10, the best one. And it wouldn't really bother me, but we'll get into that. So, okay, have we said what we need to say about Five Guys?
I've said name. Well, yeah.
Okay, so do you want to go first on your top of the list,
Please,
10 of 10?
This was your topic. I'd like to hear what you have to say.
Well, I almost got to believe we had the same thing unless something's going to come out of left field, but it's got to be In-N-Out.
Amen. Praise Jesus. Yes.
So, In-N-Out is not in our region, right? There is no In-N-Outs here. Do you even know what the closest one is?
There might be some in Texas. I know they come at least as far west as Las Vegas because that's the last one I had.
Yeah, no, I've had Las Vegas. I think San Diego had some, but they're really good.
It's been 2 years since I've had one, and I'm still craving it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing, too. I've had an In-N-Out burger probably 6 times, including a trip where I think I had it like 3 times in a 2-day span.
Wow.
So it's still kind of a small sample size, but I have a really hard time finding anyone that disagrees with me.
The other thing, too, and this really isn't a factor, but one thing I do appreciate about In-N-Out Burger, you go to Five Guys, right, with a date, girlfriend, wife, whatever, whoever you're with, 2 people, you're going to spend at least 20-odd bucks.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're right. That's what I was thinking. I wasn't sure, but you're right. The Five Guys is pricey. Not that it's not worth it.
No, it's totally worth it.
But the value of In-N-Out is kind of what probably puts it over the top.
Last time I went to In-N-Out, I got a triple animal style, fries animal style, and a chocolate shake.
I've heard people talk about animal style, but I'm like, look, I love it the way it is. I don't care. I don't want to Google it. I don't want to spend the time to research it. I just don't want to mess. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So what's animal style?
It's different. Basically, the burger, I believe, if you do it animal style, they fry it, but they also fry it with mustard and onions. You do the fries animal style, it's similar, but I think they also add cheese in there. Mm-hmm. I got it that way because I've had it the regular way the few other times I've had it, and someone said you have to do animal style. So I'm like, I don't know when I'm going to be here next, so I'll get the burger animal style, and I'll try the fries animal style. Next time, honestly, I'll probably get the fries just regular.
Yeah.
But I wanted to try it. But burger animal style, fries animal style, and a shake, I think I was out of there for $13. And that's just me. And like I said, Five Guys, I'm getting a burger and splitting a fry, and it's $20+.
Yeah, it's not,
so the total of 2 burgers.
But Five Guys is kind of like the more premium. They're almost, you spend about the same as Bagger Days, even though the ambiance isn't the same as Bagger Days. Bagger Days is a little bit more upscale. Right. Still just a burger joint, but what In-N-Out is closer to the traditional burger joints, or diner style almost.
Let me put it this way. The first time I ever had In-N-Out burger was I went to California a few years ago. Went there, and the next night we had worked so late, nothing else was open but the In-N-Out burger. And we went back a second night, and I still love the burger just as much going to it the very next day.
No, that's what I said. I took a trip out west one time, and I was only there for a couple days, and I knew I may not get In-N-Out again. So that's why I said I got it 3 times in a 2-day span. I just had to gorge on it because I never knew if I was going to get it again.
And I think that's why they hold up, because if you can eat the same exact burger 2 days in a row and you're still loving it, that's something pretty special.
So In-N-Out can't possibly be franchised. Otherwise, there'd be some here by now. Like, it's got to be privately held, and they got to be holding it into that area to keep it special. Otherwise, why is something so good not spread out?
Well, yeah, exactly right. My understanding is that the family owns it, and they can only go as far away as they can get, where refrigerator trucks can go from the slaughterhouse to the restaurant.
Okay.
Nothing is frozen.
So practical reason why that's the case.
Yeah. Five Guys, same way, in that nothing is frozen there, and they have to, source as much as they can
and
locally.
Five Guys just exploded in the last 3 years or so. I remember it was like 6 years ago, a buddy of mine loved Five Guys, and I had never been there, and he only went to it in the Chicago area.
But they franchised.
Now they're everywhere.
Yes,
now they're
everywhere.
absolutely everywhere. It's infected the state of Michigan like a virus.
Oh, what a fantastic and delicious virus.
Yeah, like the virus from that Futurama episode that makes Fry like super smart, the worms, like one of those where you're like, hey, I'm happy with this virus.
There you go. Exactly.
All right, so there you have it. I mean, In-N-Out's the best, so not much to argue about. We'll have to have another one of these about another topic at another time. Chime in, tell us what you think.
Well, I have to admit, after talking about all those burgers, I'm a little bit hungry. It is a little bit past dinner time. I can go for one of those right now. But anyway, hope you like that segment. Every once in a while, we're going to throw in something like that, just what we think are top 10. Doesn't always have to be 100% geek related. This time it was about burgers. Next time, who knows what it could be about. Also hope you like Should I Check It Out? Another segment we're going to do here from time to time. Not every episode. It's just going to come around whenever we feel the need to talk about something geeky that we should check out.
Or if somebody emails or writes in and tells us that we should do that, which leads into the next thing you were going to talk about.
Yeah, so if you want to get a hold of us, there's always email, WNRDpodcast@gmail.com. You can also find us on Twitter, @WNRD Podcast. Hopefully, if you're listening to this, you found us at soundcloud.com/WNRD. And from that, I'm going to pass it back over to Alan.
So yeah, our next topic we're going to tease here is an interesting one that we're really excited to get into. We want to ask the question to the nerds and the geeks out there, what franchise or movie or comic or whatever do you want to see remade, made into a movie, rebooted, live action, whatever? What haven't they touched that you want to touch next?
Or what have they touched and touched incorrectly? It needs to be redone already.
True, exactly, like Spider-Man. It's on the third time now.
No kidding. Third time in, 10, 15 years?
So we're going to put some serious thought into this because I think there's a lot of meat on the bones here, and hopefully we can get a few people to let us know what they think as well. So what's next? What do you want to see redone? And we'll let that go. We'll take you out into the music, and we'll talk to you on episode 4.
Be seeing you.